A group of women are shown sitting around a table talking with laptops, tablets, and phones out on the table. Figure 2.1 Software applications are what allow us to interact with our computer's hardware. It is essential to learn how to use programs like calendars, word processors, and email clients to communicate with others and create documents in the workplace. Credit. WASINTech Microsoft, 241 by WOSINTech Chat/Flickr, CC by 20. Chapter Outline. 2.1 Software Basics. 2.2 Files and Folders. 2.3 Communication and Calendar Applications. 2.4 Essentials of Microsoft 365. 2.5 Essentials of Google Workspace. 2.6 Collaboration. WorldCorp is a multinational conglomerate that produces and works in consumer goods, healthcare, and technology. Its functional service areas include research and development, strategy, operations, production and distribution, human resources, information technology and equipment, marketing and sales, finance and accounting, and customer service. The corporation has a strong commitment to social responsibility and environmental protection. Employees are encouraged to participate in company-wide and individual charity initiatives, with paid time off to participate in each once a month. With employees located across the globe, WorldCorp understands a successful workplace is supported by a commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion, EDI. It has a strong ethics policy that is enforced throughout the company hierarchy, with senior leaders and management expected to serve as models in all actions and interactions. You have just been hired as a management trainee at the company and will be exposed to all functional areas. In this chapter, you have just been hired and are tasked with learning the basics of the software programs WorldCorp uses to run its operations, most notably Microsoft 365, or more commonly known as its longtime former name, Microsoft Office, and Google Workspace. Learning objectives. By the end of this section, you will be able to explain what software is and what it does. Describe each of the main software types used in business. Understand how to install and maintain software. You learned about the history of computers and basic hardware and the technology in everyday life and business chapter. While hardware is the backbone of a computer, and knowledge of it and what can go wrong with it helps you to keep vital devices working properly, software is the lifeblood that gets work done personally and in the business world. This chapter examines the basics of software programs. It also covers the terminology and functions common to most programs. Refer to this chapter as you work through the rest of the material in the textbook, especially when you encounter more advanced concepts. One final note, before beginning this chapter, be sure you know how to use your mouse to click and hover. Clicking, sometimes called pressing or selecting, the left side of the mouse tells that you want to activate a command directly on the screen. It is the most direct use of the mouse. Clicking the right side, called right-clicking, of the mouse will reveal a little screen with a menu of options. Don't worry about those yet. And finally, hovering over portions of the screen such as icons will give you a short descriptor of that tool or menu. When you hover, you do not click the mouse at all, but rather direct it over the tool icon. Mag tip: you will need to hold the Control key when clicking the mouse to reveal the menu of options, and then hold Command when clicking the mouse to activate a command directly on screen. What is software? When using a computer, we often hear the terms programs, software, and applications. Sometimes these terms are used interchangeably. However, there are some distinctions. Programs are the instructions that tell the computer how to operate and run specific tasks, whereas software consists of the step-by-step instructions that tell a computer how to operate with its hardware. Software is essentially a collection of interlinked programs. More specifically, the instructions enable the program to perform specific actions such as printing, saving, or formatting text. These step-by-step instructions are written in computer language or code. Different types of programs include the Microsoft Office suite, educational software, and antivirus software. There are two major categories of software: system-related software and application software. System software is related to the functioning of the computer. Examples include the computer's operating system and the software needed to run items such as printers, the keyboard, and antivirus software. Applications are programs that are task-oriented, including those we will cover in this text, such as word processing programs and presentation software. Internet browsers are also considered application programs. They are used to search for content on the internet. There are several facets of programs that are consistent regardless of the type of program. The programs use computer programming to add the functionality for the software or application. For example, there is a specific computer programming language or code that is used to simply print a document. This language is the foundation for making the program work. The basic elements of programs are shown in Figure 2.2. They are: the graphical user interface (GUI) is the portion of a program that allows the user to interact with it. Commands in Office are organized in groupings called tabs, while in Google Workspace these groupings are called menus. A menu bar or ribbon, typically at the top of the screen, contains an array of general commands that the user can choose, such as changing the font, printing the file, or adding elements such as pictures or shapes. In Office, this is referred to as the ribbon. A toolbar, typically located below the menu bar, contains icons or graphical representations for commonly used commands such as copy or save that are more specific than those contained in the menu bar. A dialog box provides information or requests inputs. These boxes typically appear after a user action such as clicking a button or selecting a menu option. For example, see Figure 2, which shows more options for changing the font color or size. The status bar is located at the bottom of the program window. Its main function is to show the status of the program, such as the number of pages. Tabs along the top are labeled ribbon, command groups on the screen are labeled toolbar, an open pane is labeled dialog box. The bar along the bottom is labeled status bar. Figure 2. The common format for software includes a series of menus or toolbars at the top of the screen that are specific to the functionality of the program. Used with permission from Microsoft. Common applications in business. Task-oriented applications include word processing, spreadsheet, presentation, and database management programs. Figure 2.3 shows the icons for the popular applications in Google Workspace. Specialized applications include programs used only for certain disciplines or occupations, such as QuickBooks, which is used for accounting. Mobile applications such as e-reader applications are programs designed primarily for smartphones and tablets. A word processing application creates text-based documents such as memos, letters, and reports. Just about every organization uses word processing software, especially businesses, colleges, and universities. Microsoft Word is the most widely used word processing application, along with Google Docs and OpenOffice Writer. A spreadsheet application organizes, analyzes, and uses numeric data. These applications are common in just about every profession today for compiling data in a table and creating visual displays, graphs, and charts of the information. Sales data from WorldCorp can be analyzed using the tools in a spreadsheet application. The most widely used spreadsheet applications are Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets. A presentation application combines graphics and text to create attractive slideshows. These applications are used by students in colleges and universities as well as in the business world. The most common presentation applications are Microsoft PowerPoint and Google Slides. Employees at WorldCorp can use presentation applications to prepare sales summaries to present to key executives at the company. A database application is designed to organize and store large amounts of data. The information in a database program often includes both text and numeric information. Microsoft Access is a database application that can be used to compile and filter a large dataset. WorldCorp can use Access to store customer data in one file that includes information such as the customer address, historical purchase information, key contacts, and other related information. The words Google Workspace are visible across the top and icons for these functions are displayed: Calendar, Gmail, Docs, Drive, Meet, and Sheets. Figure 2.3 Google Workspace includes applications for emailing, managing files, and creating spreadsheets. These are the common icons you will see most as you start to learn this suite. Google Workspace is a trademark of Google LLC. Specialized applications include programs that are used only in certain disciplines or occupations, such as a design application used in the engineering profession. Another example would be tax software programs that accounting professionals use to prepare taxes for their clients. Desktop publishing enables users to mix text and graphics to create page designs and layouts for brochures, newsletters, and textbooks. Popular types of desktop publishing software include Adobe InDesign and Microsoft Publisher. Finally, businesses might also use social media applications. Social media applications are used to create virtual networks or communities through which users connect and share information, messages, and/or content such as images and videos. These applications are accessed either through the internet or by downloading the application to your device. These applications are geared to connecting with others in a variety of different scenarios. For example, LinkedIn is a professional networking application that can help you connect with others in your career field. Social media applications will be covered in detail in content management systems and social media in business. One of the first social media platforms was MySpace, which was used to connect individuals with family and friends, as well as for networking. Then came Facebook, which became more popular than MySpace, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter, now X. At WorldCorp, you would most likely use LinkedIn, which is a site tailored to the business world. Companies and workers share news, their resumes, and network through it. Social media also allows virtual collaboration, which plays a role in work life, as individuals can use Zoom or Microsoft Teams for business meetings, a feature that became crucial during the COVID pandemic. Many organizations also use social media for marketing purposes. In addition to interacting with others, social media users can watch movies and play games on many different types of devices, including tablets, computers, and even cell phones through social media sites. The chapter Content Management Systems and Social Media in Business covers this topic in more depth. Installing and maintaining software. Installing software is an automated process for the most part. Although there are some differences based on both the software and the operating systems, Windows or macOS, software installation follows a basic process. Acquisition of the software often begins with visiting the software website and purchasing the software download. Not all software requires a purchase. Some programs are freely available. Also, not all programs are directly downloaded onto your computer. With today's cloud-based technologies, some software exists in the cloud, and instead you are downloading an app on your device to get access to the software. Once you have identified the software you would like to install, generally you will find a link or button on the website that says Download. By clicking on the download, you agree to allow the software components to be added to your computer's hard drive. Also, although not as common today, software programs can be installed via a CD-ROM. If you have a CD-ROM to install the software, often the installation process will begin once the CD is inserted in the CD drive. You will be prompted with similar dialog windows whether installing from a download or a CD-ROM. Keep in mind that you need to do your research and use caution when choosing software from the internet to download. There are fake sites that exist for downloading software that could harm your computer. Additionally, sometimes there are options to download other software or additional features to install. These are generally not necessary and could again be potentially harmful to your computer. Take the time to make sure you are downloading software from trusted sites. The installation begins with downloading a folder that contains the necessary files to install the software program on your computer. Two key files in the folder are the readme file and the actual install file, which will have exe extension, the execute file. It is a good idea to read the readme file. This file is a text file that contains the steps needed to install the program. It will also contain the system requirements information to determine if your computer is suitable for the program. The programs differ based on the computer space needed to store the software files and the version of the operating system needed for the software to function. The download prompter screens will often indicate the amount of space required for the installation. Installation starts when you click on the exe file. You will be prompted with a series of approvals at the beginning of the installation. These approvals could include the consent to make changes, add files to your computer, closing all other open programs, and usage of the software. Some software programs will have options to customize the installation based on the elements you want installed or where you want to place the installation files. You may be prompted with a dialog box asking you the type of installation. which could include options such as basic installation or customized. Often, the software developers will recommend the basic installation for most applications. Unless you have a reason not to complete the installation as recommended, there is usually no reason to choose a customized installation. Mac tip: exe files are only for Windows computers and cannot be installed on macOS operating systems. The Mac operating system uses DMG files. Maintenance of software is simple. Developers of the programs will regularly check the programs for issues. At times, there may be a need to update the software. You might already be familiar with the concept with your cell phone. These updates improve security and functionality of the programs when issues arise. Installation of the updates can be set to be automatic, or you can manually and regularly check for updates of the software programs. Many programs will notify users when the program is opened if an update is available. Updating the software is a necessary part of keeping the program functional. Troubleshooting issues in a program is another key component of being a software user. Most software has a help function or menu available to assist the user with questions about the program. The items in the help function are generally centered on issues of using the program itself. Items could include how to perform a certain task such as printing or other related items. If your issue is not solved with this type of assistance, most programs have a way to connect with the software company for more assistance through registering the software. This could be in the form of sending an email, contacting customer service by phone, or through a chat function in the program. Most problems with the functionality of a program can be resolved through one of these methods. Learning objectives. By the end of this section, you will be able to describe the purpose and use of files and folders, identify different file formats and their common uses, apply best practices in file and folder organization, including saving, understand the differences between Google Drive, SharePoint, and OneDrive. Being organized is a key skill in the business world. Disorganized workspaces, whether real or virtual, can lead to a host of negative outcomes: lost productivity, wasted money and resources, and a poor worker reputation. A study by professional staffing company Express Employment Professionals revealed that approximately 6 hours per week can be lost to poor organizational skills, and that employees earning $50,000 a year can cost their employers upward of $10,000 annually in lost time. You don't want to be one of those employees, so here we will learn how to organize your computer software files. This is a basic, key skill. Right now, as a student, you need a way to organize the items from your classes, such as the syllabus, homework papers, and class notes. Some students choose to use a physical binder to organize all the material needed for a class. You may have one binder to hold the information for all your courses, or multiple binders, one for each course. Just as you would organize class material in a binder, a computer needs a way to organize the information stored in the hard drive. Through computer coding and programming, the computer uses a system of files and folders to organize the information and run its programs correctly. Most people will never use many of the files and folders stored on the hard drive. For example, you probably will not access the information in the Windows folder or the Program Files folder. Those files that are needed for operating the computer are generally not necessary for the average computer user to access. You will use files and folders for specific software programs for information you have created. Understanding how to navigate the files and folders on the computer is crucial. Using and organizing folders and files. A file is a collection of data, such as a document or a program. Files are stored within a folder, which can contain subfolders as well as individual files. Files contain information, unlike folders, which are used to organize the files. For example, you might organize the photos on your phone into folders labeled by year or by type of photo, family, friends, events. In addition to those folders of photos, your phone contains other folders, each named based on its contents. In this course, you will work frequently with 4 types of files. Document files are used in word processing applications to save documents such as school assignments, communications, and lists. Microsoft Word and Google Docs are 2 of the programs businesses use most. WorldCorp would use document files for company memos to employees or to write up contracts with new vendors. Spreadsheet files are produced by spreadsheet applications, such as Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets. This type of file is often used to analyze data and for numerical record-keeping and calculations. Spreadsheet files could be particularly useful for WorldCorp when summarizing sales data for the last quarter or to create charts to show sales trends in different regions. Database files are created by database management applications. Many companies have high-level, specialized databases that store information about customers or specific products they sell. In this course, you will learn about Microsoft Access. Presentation files consist of pages that may be used as slides or handouts. Google Slides and Microsoft PowerPoint are popular presentation applications. What is a folder? A folder is a defined area of a computer or drive that stores subfolders and files, Figure 2.4. Organizing files into folders and subfolders makes it easier to locate a specific file and to keep files organized for the long term. Folders and subfolders are a hierarchical way of organizing your files. An image shows metal shelves filled with paper-filled file folders. The visible sides of the folders display tabs with various colored tabs of letters, colors, and numbers. Figure 2, a computer stores files in the same way you might store files in a filing cabinet, although maybe a little neater. Credit, document file, folders, carton, paper by ppd/pixneo cc0. Using and organizing files. As you create and use files, you will develop a system of organization that works for your needs. In some cases, the entity that you work for will have a system that is used for all employees. The goal is to gather files in such a way that facilitates finding and using those files. You could organize files by type, all Word documents in one folder, by date, or even by project. Your system will depend on how you interact with your computer and how you plan to use the files you create or download. There is no one standard way to organize files, but here are a few tips to get you started. Decide on an organizational system that works for you. Use descriptive folder names and be consistent with naming. Make use of subfolders within the main folder. When files are created, place them in the appropriate folder. Regularly delete or archive files or folders that you no longer need. Opening a file. To open an existing file, locate the file wherever it is saved. It may be saved on your computer hard drive in the cloud or on an external drive such as a flash drive. The easiest method for locating an existing file is by using the File Explorer folder, see Figure 2.5. Mac tip. Folders can be found in the Finder or the Documents tab. To access File Explorer, either double-click the Manila folder icon on the desktop or access File Explorer through the Windows menu. You can also search for a specific file name using the search bar at the bottom of the screen or the search bar at the upper right side of File Explorer. As you can see, there are several ways to find the file you are looking for. File is selected in File Explorer. A bar displays this PC. A search bar is at the right. Folders menu shows options and devices and drives options display at the bottom. Figure 2.5 File Explorer shows the folders on your hard drive and the devices that are connected to your computer. To search this PC search bar, find specific files on your local hard drive. Used with permission from Microsoft. Once you have located your file, you can either right-click or double-click on the file to open it. Creating a file. To create a file, you will likely begin in the application program itself. For example, to create a new presentation file, open PowerPoint or Slides. Or you can create a new file directly from the desktop. Simply right-click on the desktop screen itself, select New, and choose the file type you want as Figure 2.6 shows. Mac tip. For Mac users, the procedure to create a file is the same, except you would use Finder. The new file will be created when the application program opens. Once a new file opens, you can add text, images, and other items to your file as needed. New selected opens. Folder, shortcut, Microsoft Access Database, bitmap image, Microsoft Word document, Microsoft Access Database, Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, Microsoft Publisher document, rich text format, text document, Excel worksheet compressed, zipped, folder. Figure 2.6 The various application programs are listed for you to select when creating a new file. Used with permission from Microsoft. Saving a file. Saving files might seem like a mundane task, but it is one of the most basic skills to master in computer work. In general, there are three broad categories of saving files: save, save as, and autosave. Save and save as both give you the option to choose the file type and the name of the file. You would use save if you are saving a file for the first time, and also, as you go along, if you are saving the file to your computer rather than to the cloud. You can use save as to save an existing file under a different name. This can be useful if you are keeping track of different versions or revisions of the same file. You would also use save as to save the file in a different location on your computer. Finally, autosave does just what it implies: saves continuously as you make changes to the file. This is a nice feature in both Microsoft and Google applications, making it easier to retain changes in a file without having to constantly remember to save the file you are working with. Moving and deleting a file. From time to time, you will need to move and delete files as part of good computer housekeeping practices. To delete a file, right-click on the file you want to delete and choose Delete. Once deletion is confirmed, select OK. You can select multiple files by using either the Shift or Control keys. Use Shift to select files that are listed together. You would click the first file and then hold Shift and click the last file in the list you want to move or delete. To select files that are not listed together, use the Control key. Click on the first file, and then to select additional files, hold the Control key and then click on each file name. Mac tip: you can delete the file, which will move it to the trash bin, or you can simply drag the file to the trash bin. To completely delete the file, you must empty the trash bin. To move a file, you can use one of two methods. You can click and drag the file to the new location. This is particularly useful if you have saved a file on the desktop and now want to move that file to a designated folder. Alternatively, you can cut the file from its current location, see the Home tab, and then paste the file to the new folder or location. This can be tricky if you do not immediately paste the file in another spot. Use caution when totally deleting files. Recovering a file. After you have deleted a file, you may still be able to recover it. This is not always possible, but in some cases you can recover files that have been deleted, or, at least, locate a previous version that may be saved on your computer. First, check the recycle bin. Generally, you will find it on the desktop. Open the recycle bin by double-clicking on the recycle bin icon on the computer desktop. When you see the file that you deleted and now want to retrieve, select it by double-clicking on the file name. Then, choose Restore from the dialog box. You can also right-click on the file name and choose Restore from there. Another strategy is to simply search for the file on your computer in File Explorer. In the search bar, type in the name of the file. Even a partial name will work. You may be able to locate the file or a version of the file through the search tool. Mac tip: the file that is in the trash can be restored. If the file has been removed from the trash and you use Time Machine, Apple's backup program, you can recover an earlier version of the file even after it has been removed from the trash. Windows systems have another option for retrieving deleted files, which involves restoring files from the file history. This is in the Systems and Security area of your computer's control panel. The easiest way to access this tool is to type File History in the search bar by the Start menu, see Figure 2.7. If you have File History enabled on your computer, you can choose Restore Your Files with File History to search for the file you have deleted. All tabs selected. Restore Your Files with File History control panel selected. A window displays a folder and clock icon, and Restore Your Files with File History control panel and open. Figure 2.7 File History can also be accessed through your computer's control panel, used with permission from Microsoft. As a final option, there are apps that you can download to help you search and recover deleted files. Several apps that serve this purpose are free and can be helpful when searching for a deleted file, compressing and extracting files. Sometimes you'll be working with a file that is too big to send as an email attachment. In that case, you can shrink the file down. It's analogous to letting the air out of a raft so you can store it in a tight spot and then reinflating it later for use. The process of reducing the size of one or more files by removing unnecessary data is called file compression. Compression also allows larger files to be sent faster and more efficiently. Large files usually contain lots of dense graphics or video clips or photos. With compression, no content in the file is lost. The file is simply compressed in size by the computer to make it more manageable. These compressed files are often referred to as zipped files. But be aware that in some instances, email recipients may not be set up to receive zipped files. This is a setting that is managed by their information technology (IT) administrator. In this case, you may have to send the uncompressed file or share the file with the recipient in another way. How to compress and extract files. Locate the file or files that need to be zipped. Press and hold or right-click the file to select it, click Send to, and then select the compressed folder. Locate the zipped file that needs to have files extracted from it. You can extract a single file, open it, and then drag it from the extracted folder to a new location. Or to extract all contents of the zipped folder, you can press and hold or right-click the folder and select Extract All. Back tip. To compress a file on a Mac, select the file you want to compress and then hold Ctrl and click on the mouse and choose Compress. File types. Information in computers is stored in a system of files. Each file will have a unique file name followed by an extension, using the file name extension format. The file format depends on the usage of the file, the program in which the file was created, and/or the size of the file. The computer will store the data in a particular file format, which is the way the data is encoded, depending on the type of data and the application the computer will use to read it. There are many different file formats. You may be familiar with some of them, such as doc or TXT. The TXT file format is a general format for a text file that can be recognized by almost any word processing application. The text contained in a TXT file does not contain any formatting such as underlines, special spacing, and other related items. There are many other file types within the computer filing system that you will probably never see. These file types are necessary instructions created to make the computer function. Those operating file types are beyond the scope of this text and are not essential for you to understand how to use a computer and the software programs on your computer effectively. Table 2.1 lists some common software program file extensions that you may already be familiar with. You can choose the file type in the Save dialog box so that you do not have to type the file extension as part of the file name. Generally, the application you are using will have the file extension already chosen in the Save dialog box as a default. In general, an X is added to the end of a file extension for newer versions of the application. For example, when documents are created in Word in versions 2007 or newer, the file will have the docx extension rather than doc-only application file extensions. Microsoft Word docx, Google Docs GDoc/GDocx, Microsoft Excel XLSM XLSX, Google Sheets GSheet, Microsoft PowerPoint PPT/PPTX, Google Slides GSlides. Table 2.1 types computer application files are saved with the file name and an extension that identifies the type of file it is. Rich Text Format RTF. Microsoft developed Rich Text Format RTF, or RTF files in 1987 to enable other Microsoft applications to read word output more easily. Today, the RTF format can be used to make your docx file more compatible so that other software can use the information in the file more readily. For example, information from a Word document that is saved as an RTF file type can be fed into a database program. Text in RTF appears fairly plain, that is, with minimal formatting. RTF files have stayed more or less the same as when they were first released, but Word docx files are frequently updated. To put it another way, an RTF is less sophisticated than a docx file and may not support all the features of a newer docx. To save a file as an RTF, go to the File tab, click on Export, hover over Rich Text Format, and then click Save As. Back tip. To open RTF files on a Mac, in the TextEdit app on your Mac, choose TextEdit Settings and then click Open and Save. Select Display RTF files as RTF code instead of formatted text. Open the RTF file Portable Document Format PDF. In the business setting, you will see many documents in Portable Document Format PDF or PDF, unlike docx format. The PDF format is designed as a publishing platform, so PDF documents are not easily editable. This is an advantage because it means that everyone who opens the PDF document will see the same format, alignment of objects, font style and size, images, tables, graphs, and so on. The appearance of the document will not change across any computer, phone, tablet, or other device. The Word file format, by contrast, is designed to be fully editable. So if you use Word 2019 or Word 365, part of Microsoft 365, for example, to open a docx created in Word 2013 or Word 2016, you may see unintended and unwelcome changes, such as a shifted object. Countless companies and other institutions typically release their annual reports and other public documents in PDF format. WorldCorp publishes its annual report using the PDF format. Local townships, public schools, and community agencies also are likely to distribute their newsletters and other information as PDF documents. Further, many job seekers produce a PDF version of their resume, as Figure 2.8 shows, to prevent style or alignment changes when the prospective employer opens the file. A resume document has purple decorative lines at the top, a blank namespace, a phone number, address, and email listed. The body of the document lists education and work experience. Figure 2.8 saving as a PDF file can preserve formatting and spacing in documents such as resumes and newsletters when they are shared with others and opened in other programs. Used with permission from Microsoft. Web page hypertext markup language, HTML. Many professionals have their own web page, featuring their professional experience, skills, contact information, and samples of work or testimonials. The content of such a website can be created in Word. For more than a decade, Word has doubled as a what you see is what you get WYSIWYG HTML editor, a web page design application that lets users make their own web pages without needing to know hypertext markup language, HTML. HTML is one of the major programming languages that web designers use to make websites. Essentially, Word lets you write the content of your web page as if you were writing any document in Word. You can add images, objects, and graphs, then save as an HTML file. However, there are better ways to create content for websites rather than using Word. We will discuss more about this later in the book. Today, many people use packaged services such as WordPress or Squarespace to create their own websites. You may still find some people who prefer to use Word to create their website or at least to design the initial content and layout of the site. Also, note that just creating a website doesn't make it available on the web. The website will need to be published, a domain name purchased, e.g. www, yourwebsite.com, and it hosted through a paid service such as GoDaddy. Graphics. Graphics file formats are for pictures and moving images. In general, graphics can mean any program that allows a computer to display these types of images. But for our purposes here, it means a file format. Without going into detail that is beyond the scope of this text, these graphics file formats organize their information in different ways. You just need to be able to recognize what they are in the workplace. JPEG, which stands for Joint Photographic Experts Group, is the most common of the formats. Its benefit is that the files can be quickly uploaded to any platform, even if the images are large. However, if the files are compressed and decompressed multiple times when sending, the images can lose quality. PNG files. PNG are higher quality than JPEGs. PNG stands for Portable Network Graphics. This file type is best for images with sophisticated backgrounds, making them denser and therefore needing more storage space on the hard drive and more time to load on your computer. GIF stands for Graphics Interchange Format. It is a file format that works well for graphics with few colors. PDF stands for Portable Document Format. It is a common file format that works best for online documents that you don't want altered. They print well, too. A PDF file format is not only used for text, but for images such as photos as well as audio and video. Adobe Photoshop, InDesign, Word, and Docs are some of the applications that allow you to create PDFs. SVG, Scalable Vector Graphics, file formats support digital illustrations made up of geometric shapes. SVG file formats retain the highest quality even when resized, but they are not applicable to social media platforms. MP4, Moving Picture Experts Group, is a multimedia format that stores internet videos. MP4 files can contain audio and subtitles. They take up a manageable amount of computer storage space, and you can easily upload them on a social media channel or a website. Best practices in using and organizing folders and files. Remember that Word allows users to save documents in different file formats and in multiple versions within a single format, designated by changing the file name, for example, from version 1 to version 2. Word also lets you choose between different file formats depending on how you want to use the file. You may also want to publish your document on the web using a file format that allows it to be read correctly by web browsers. Real-world application. Tips for organizing and maintaining files. Imagine you have been asked by your professor to resubmit a homework assignment that you originally turned in at the beginning of the semester. The professor cannot find your submitted assignment, so you currently have received 0 credit in the gradebook. Having a well-organized system for keeping track of your school notes and assignments will help you quickly find this assignment. This scenario can also be applied to the workplace. Suppose you need to quickly locate a document for a customer or a coworker. A good organizational system makes this task much easier. Here are some tips for effective file management. After creating and naming a file, place it in the appropriate folder based on your organization system. If you want quick access to a file, you can store it on the desktop. But if you store too many files on the desktop, it can be hard to locate a specific file. It is generally preferable to store files within folders and to reserve the desktop for icons to access particular apps. Ultimately, this is a matter of personal preference. Group files by category. For example, your categories might be business plans, resume services, memos, letters, and meeting notes. Create subfolders for all files and give them descriptive names. For example, you might want to label a subfolder Business Plan, Client 2, June 2023. Use effective file name conventions for folders. Specific, informative file names like Resumes, 2022, and Employee Files, AM will save you the time of having to search within a folder with a more generic name. It is important to keep your files current. In many cases, you may have files that you no longer use or that have been updated. In that case, delete the previous versions of the file. Unless you need to refer to a previous version of a document or think you might need the information in the future, generally there is no need to keep older files that you no longer use. You can save multiple versions of a file and rename them in such a way that they identify the version of the original file, referencing the version or even the date of the version of the file. To make this process effective, be consistent in naming versions of files. Always use the same approach. For example, you could have the file name with the version number and the date, name Vitamar 212023. What is more important is having a consistent approach that is used by everyone who uses the files. If you are hesitant to delete the files entirely, consider backing them up to an external drive such as a flash drive or a cloud-based storage option. This will free up space on your computer's hard drive while still reassuring you that your files are secure. As a best practice, regularly back up all your files folders on your computer, not just the items you are no longer using. Create a folder organization system that works for your needs. For example, you might want to create folders by software program, by date, or by client. Establishing an organization system for your folders will save you time when searching for specific files. Consider writing out the system on paper first to get an idea of what it will look like. Just the process of writing out how your folders will be organized may give you additional ideas on how to structure your system. For example, if you have a few larger folders organized by client, you may want to have several subfolders within each of them that house specific files for that client by software program or usage. Suppose WorldCorp asks you to keep track of correspondence with 4 of its clients. You can create 4 main folders, clients 1, 4, and then within each of those folders, subfolders labeled invoices, email correspondence, and work tasks. It is often easier to have the folders and the files within those folders sorted alphabetically so that you can easily find information. It is better to use full names and words rather than abbreviations in your folder names. This makes using the search function more effective in locating the folders you need. This is especially important if files are shared and may need to be accessed in your absence. Most computers have the capability to mark or flag certain folders or files for quick access so that you can readily find them. Generally, this capability is found in the File Explorer feature in your computer, which looks like a manila folder and is located on your desktop. You could also place those files or folders that you use daily on the desktop for quick access to them when you need them. Finally, organize your files as you create them rather than saving that task for later. When you create a new file in a software program, determine the folder where the file will be placed and save the information there. Google Drive, SharePoint, and OneDrive. Both Microsoft and Google have applications to help you manage, organize, and share your computer files. Drive is the online, cloud-based file storage system in Google. Drive is free and allows you to store, organize, manage, and create files online through the Google platform. Drive also has the capabilities to sync with multiple devices and has convenient sharing tools to share files and images with others. You will get your Drive when you create a Google Learning Objectives. By the end of this section, you will be able to identify common communication applications for email and messaging. Apply best practices to crafting an email. Describe features and uses of calendar applications. Effective communication is a key component of any organization. Today's technologies enable us to communicate nearly seamlessly across thousands of miles, so that organizations can operate more efficiently and respond quickly to their customers' changing needs. Communication technologies fall into three broad categories: email, instant chat messaging, and video conferencing programs. Some companies might also conduct communication by placing calls over the internet. Email is electronic mail. It is like writing a letter and delivering it via the internet rather than through the postal service. Instant chat messaging is designed for brief, typed messages that are delivered in real time as if you were chatting with someone face-to-face. Finally, video conferencing programs use video to mimic a face-to-face meeting where you can see and hear the other participants, but in a virtual environment rather than in the same physical location. There are advantages and disadvantages to each type of communication technology. Email is not ideal for conveying emotion clearly. Instant chat messaging, though quick, as its name implies, may not preserve the entire conversation for later reference. This may depend on the messaging service used. Many email and instant messaging applications include a video chatting meeting option as well. With video communication programs, engagement from participants could be limited, especially if participants keep their video cameras turned off or if there are a large number of participants. It may be difficult to interject to speak in such a setting. But video communication software has made it possible to hold departmental meetings where all members do not have to be gathered in the same location. This technology has transformed communication on a large scale as well, especially on the world stage, as Figure 2.9 shows. Two people are looking at a laptop screen that displays 8 people's faces on the screen. At the right is a list of participants who have dialed in to the meeting. Figure 2.9 technical cooperation members of the COP26 Climate Change Conference hold a virtual meeting in 2021 in Glasgow, Scotland, enabling stakeholders from 200 countries to come together whether in person or over the internet. Credit IAEA staff behind the scenes at COP26 by IAEA ImageBank/Flickr, CC by 20. Communication in the digitized office. Effective communication is essential for enhancing organizational performance. Communication is needed from upper management to effectively convey the strategic goals of the organization. Communication among colleagues is needed to ensure that work tasks are being completed in a timely manner. And finally, external communication of an organization to key stakeholders such as customers or vendors is necessary to increase the customer base or garner additional funding if needed. External communication is essential when marketing your company. WorldCorp can use external communication via a variety of ways, such as a website and emails to potential customers, to raise awareness about a new product line they are offering. With technology today, business can be conducted without the individuals being in the same physical space. It is likely that you will encounter a digitized office environment in your career. Challenges of digitized collaboration. Some challenges of collaboration via technology include building trust, scheduling, addressing communication issues, overcoming cultural differences. Regular video calls with teams can be an effective way to build trust in an organization. In a digitized business environment, scheduling will need to account for time zone differences, and this can be facilitated with the technologies today. Figure 2.10 shows one map of the world time zones that most video conferencing programs will automatically account for when scheduling meetings in multiple countries and continents. A standard time zones of the world map displays time zones in a variety of colors with numbers across the top indicating plus or hours from the prime meridian. Figure 2.10 An understanding of time zones is important in running video meetings in multinational corporations. Credit Standard World Time Zones Map as of August 2015 by Aneksu GV/Wikimedia Commons, public domain. Communications issues such as language barriers can be addressed using translation capabilities within some applications. This can allow businesses to recognize cultural differences that may exist within their organization or customer base. Organizations that operate remotely should consider offering training to help overcome some of these cultural differences so that they do not become barriers to effective teamwork. The training could include cultural awareness training or even language classes to assist employees working across borders. Essentials of business communication. Communication in the workplace is an essential part of the day-to-day functions for any employee. Keep in mind that communication conducted using company equipment, even if private, can be recorded and is the property of the company that can be accessed at any time. So keep this in mind when you are communicating while at work. This includes chats, instant messages, emails, video calls, and computer files. Although the exact content of the communication will vary, there are some best practices to follow to make the communication more effective. First, one of the most important aspects of communicating is to know your audience. The way you communicate with your coworker could be completely different than how you would communicate with a senior-level manager in the company. The communication style, needs, and method can vary widely based on the audience. Next, you need to understand your communication objectives. Is the intent to inform or persuade? What are you hoping to achieve with the communication? Knowing the answer to these questions can help you format the content of your communication and clearly articulate the message. Determining the audience and the purpose of the communication leads to creating the content of the communication. First, consider the level of formality needed in the message. Communicating lunch plans with your coworkers is a different level of formality than communicating quarterly sales results with a manager. You might also consider the timing of communication in your thought process. Sending critical information via email at 5:15 p.m. on a Friday afternoon may not be the best timing for the message to go out. Some applications might give you the ability to schedule delivery of emails at a more appropriate time. Timing is especially important when communicating across time zones. Be sure to spell check your content and read it out loud for professionalism when appropriate. This is also applicable to all attachments to the communications that you might send. Communication applications. WorldCorp uses email, instant messaging, and video applications because it has several employees who work remotely. Technologies of this kind are called communication applications, or software that facilitates communication between individuals or groups. Email has become its primary means to communicate. Instant messaging also plays a role in the company as a fast way to communicate with coworkers who might not be located in the same office space as you are. Finally, video communication applications work well when not everyone can be in the same place to meet face-to-face. Within each communication type, there are several applications available, and many are integrated into one program. Most of the software for the communication type will have similar functionality. For example, many email applications offer similar tools and capabilities for communicating. Email is a digital means to send messages, ranging from a short memo to a longer narrative, which can be sent to a single recipient or to thousands or more. You've most likely used or at least heard of popular email programs such as Outlook, Gmail, Apple Mail, and Yahoo Mail. Emails can also include attachments such as Word or Excel documents. Regardless of which email program you use, all emails have certain common elements. The main components of an email include 2. CC, BCC, subject, body of the email, and attachments, as shown in Figure 211. The to field is where you enter the address of the primary intended recipient, S. You can include multiple recipients for the email. Their email addresses will be separated either by a or a. Depending on which program you are using, all carbon copy CC recipients will get the identical email, and all recipients will know all that have received the email, but they are merely copied on the message to be informed of it. There is no action required by CC'd recipients. A blind carbon copy, BCC, means that the recipients in the to and CC fields will not know the BCC individual has received the email. This function serves to inform someone else confidentially and usually means there is a crucial need for it. It's not a function to use lightly or liberally. An email window is displayed. The body of the email shows a thank you letter formatted as a business letter. Figure 2:11. When composing a professional email, format the email in a similar manner to a business letter. Used with permission from Microsoft. The subject line of the email is a brief description of the content or purpose of the email. The body of the email is composed in the large space. Composing an email in an email application is similar to using word processing software such as Google Docs. The final component of most emails is attachments. Not all emails have to include attachments, but you may want to include an attachment such as a document to review or an image you want to share. To attach a file to an email, you will usually find a tool or icon that looks like a paperclip. Attachments are just as they sound, additional information that is saved in a computer file outside of the actual email, such as spreadsheets, pictures, and PDFs. These digital files can then be saved by the recipient on their computer for future use. When responding to an email you have received, you have several options. You can choose reply, reply all, or forward, as Figure 2:12 shows. Reply will allow you to compose a response, which will go to the sender of the email only. When you choose reply all, everyone who received the original email from the sender will also get your reply. Use caution when choosing reply all. Make sure you are comfortable with all on the email distribution list reading your response. The Message tab is selected in an email window. Reply all is selected in the Respond command group. Reply, reply all, and forward buttons are visible at the right. Figure 2:12. When responding to an email, be careful to choose the appropriate option. As an example, you may not want to choose reply all when responding to an email that was sent to all employees. Used with permission from Microsoft. For example, the Human Resources HR Director at WorldCorp has just sent a company-wide email about the upcoming holiday schedule. If you had a question about the schedule and chose reply all, everyone in the company would get your email with the question. You really intended only to ask the question of the HR director, so you should have used reply. Finally, forward allows you to forward the original email to someone else. You might choose this option if you want to get some input on a topic before responding. Sales personnel at WorldCorp might use the forward option to send accounts payable receipts for products they have purchased. Generally, email is not the best communication channel for long discussions that require input from multiple people, because you will get multiple replies that clog your email inbox. More on that later. In general, a business email should take a formal tone. Like a business letter, it should be clear and concise. Email should include a descriptive subject line that conveys the topic of the message. In fact, some email programs have a security feature that will flag any message without a subject line and will ask you to write one before clicking send. Professional business emails should start with a greeting or salutation, something like Dear Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, or simply Jim, depending on the level of formality you desire. The body of the email should be brief and concise. Anything longer than a few paragraphs should be put into an attachment file instead. Pay attention to spelling and grammar as you are constructing the email. Finally, end with a closing and your signature. The closing may be a sentence such as, "Thank you for your time," or "I look forward to hearing your thoughts." Some email programs have a built-in feature that allows you to include a preformatted signature on all emails. perhaps including your name, company, position, and contact information. Common email applications. There are many email applications on the market. Your company will have chosen one, but that doesn't mean you can't have your own email addresses to use at home. Just be sure to keep those email accounts separate. It is not a good idea to use company email for personal matters because you have no privacy, and it is the company's property first and foremost. Because this text covers Microsoft and Google products, you will learn these email applications, Outlook and Gmail, respectively. Tip: visit this Apple Mail support page for information about Apple Mail. Microsoft Outlook. Outlook is part of the Microsoft suite of applications. It contains many of the same features that you might find in Word or Excel. You can format the email text as you are composing the email. Figure 213 shows you the email composition screen in the application. You will notice there are common features in Outlook that you will find in most email applications. You have options to reply to the message, include attachments, and add signatures to your emails. Another handy feature in Outlook is setting a priority for your email. This allows you to give an email that needs immediate attention a high priority label. It can alert the recipient that the email is a high priority email and needs to be addressed quickly. Other features that you will see in Outlook and many other email applications are identifying emails as spam or junk. You can mark an email as junk, and emails from that sender will no longer appear in your inbox. They will instead be immediately sent to the spam or junk folders. When you no longer need an email, you can choose to delete it. When you delete an email, it goes to the trash folder. You can still access it in the trash folder for some time based on the settings of Outlook to delete the content of the trash folder. Finally, you have the ability to add folders to help keep your emails organized. Just as you would for folders on your computer, you can use an organization system that works for your needs. For example, a sales agent at WorldCorp might set up an email folder for each of its customers. An email window is visible. The command group tags is highlighted and includes follow-up, high importance, and low importance options for selection. Figure 213: if you set the priority to high, recipients can quickly see emails that need immediate attention. Used with permission from Microsoft. Gmail, see Figure 214, is part of the Google suite of applications. You may have experience already using Gmail, as many schools will assign Gmail email addresses to their students for use while they are enrolled. In Gmail, you have some ability to format text, but not to the extent that you have with Outlook. The basic setup of the email composition is similar. The functionality of Gmail is similar to that of most email programs. You can add attachments, organize emails into folders, and identify emails as junk or spam. A Gmail screen is open. New message reads across the top. A blue send button is at the bottom left. Figure 214. Gmail places the send button at the bottom of the email composition screen. Gmail is a trademark of Google LLC. Link to learning. Email was invented in 1971 by Ray Tomlinson, a computer engineer who worked for Bolt, Beranek, and Newman in Massachusetts. Tomlinson developed a system that could send messages between computers using the @ symbol. The first organization to use email was the Department of Defense. Read this article on the history of email to learn more about how email has evolved since 1971. How has email changed the way organizations function? How has email changed the way individuals stay connected? Instant chat messaging (IM) applications. Instant chat messaging applications offer users a quick way to send messages in real time, meaning the back and forth is directly on the screen rather than in an email you have to open first to read. Often, these applications are more text-based and do not offer some of the same formatting features that you might find in email programs. Many do offer the ability to send files through the instant messaging application. However, the size of the file may be limited. Usually, communicating through instant messaging is less formal than communication in email. Also, you would not expect to format a message in instant messaging applications like a business email. You might also find that users will abbreviate words more when using instant messaging applications. This is like texting via your cell phone. Some companies offer internal programs for instant messaging. Others use commercially available tools to facilitate communication in the workplace. For example, if you had a quick question to your manager about the format needed for a presentation you are preparing, using an instant messaging application might be a good tool. You could send the message to your manager in a short, concise question, and the manager would receive the message directly. Think about instant messaging like having a face-to-face conversation with your manager, but just electronically, an online chat. Instant chat messaging applications give users the ability to send to multiple people or to create a chat room. Most programs also have an indication if a user is online. This will allow you to know whether your message will be viewed when you send it. Using instant chat messaging in the workplace can facilitate real-time communication between employees who are not in the same physical location. This can foster team building and foster trust among the employees. It can also reduce the number of emails an employee receives on a daily basis. Instant messaging can be a secure form of communication that can be archived by the Information Technology Department. However, overuse of instant messaging can provide a distraction in the workplace. With instant messaging, we often do not place the same attention to proofreading and making sure we are conveying the message we intend. You might inadvertently send a message in error or with incorrect information. Because of the immediate nature of instant messages, take care to make sure the message is correct before sending. Also, instant chat messaging is not appropriate for critical discussions such as hiring decisions, strategic company decisions, or contract discussions. Instant messaging should be viewed as a means to facilitate quick conversations, not as a replacement for company meetings and other such discussions. Instant messaging, although similar in ways to a face-to-face conversation, cannot take the place of those human interactions. Emotions and body language are not conveyed through messages. Here are the major instant message programs. Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is a useful tool in business for instant messaging. It is included in the Microsoft suite of programs. Teams also offers video chat capability as well as file sharing. Many organizations today use Teams to conduct team meetings. Teams provides much more than just a chat function. You can take calls, schedule meetings through the calendar function, and much more in the Teams environment. Figure 2.15 shows what the Teams interface looks like with the chat function selected. A Teams window is visible. A search bar runs along the top. Options for selection are at left. A chat pane is next, and then a conversation pane is at the right. Figure 2.15, the Teams window will display your picture in the upper right corner with a green check mark to show you are available. Used with permission from Microsoft. Slack, another instant messaging platform. Slack is a free program with some extra features available for a fee. For example, with the free version, users are limited to view and access only the most recent 10,000 instant messages. This will work for many uses but may be limiting if you try to use the free version for workplace communications, where you may need to recall a conversation that goes back further. Slack is similar in many ways to Teams, see Figure 2.16. It was designed specifically for use in the workplace. Slack allows users to add emojis to messages and to create workspaces for team collaboration. Files can be shared via Slack as they are in Teams. Private and public messages can be exchanged through Slack. Slack integrates well with other programs such as the Google suite of products, including Google Calendar. A Slack window displays options at the top for searching. The left column lists a work heading with channels and direct messages. The right side of the screen shows a channel, Figure 2.16. Notice that Slack uses the term channels to refer to different chats. Copyright 2023 Slack Technologies, LLC. Calendar applications. There are several applications that can help you keep organized. One such category of applications is calendars. Suites such as Microsoft and Google include calendar applications. One key feature of calendar applications is the ability to have both your personal and business schedules in one place that can be accessed from virtually anywhere. You can integrate the apps with your phone so that you no longer have to carry a separate day planner or schedule book with you. With the sophistication of the calendar apps today, you can enter appointment information into one place, and it can be updated across many different programs and even shared to other people. Calendar features and functions. With the availability of various technologies today, many people have moved their calendar to an online format rather than a more traditional paper planner. Many prefer the convenience of storing their work and personal appointments in a single place. These calendar apps allow users to bring together multiple calendars as well as scheduling meetings and blocking out time when you might be unavailable. Many calendar applications will permit users to determine which items are visible to others or to share your calendar with coworkers and family. You can also use calendar software to allow your customers to set up meetings with you during your available time. If you want to keep your personal appointments hidden from your coworkers, you can easily set this up in the program. The settings in the application also allow users to permit others to add appointments to their calendars. Calendar applications can also be useful for managing work tasks for project management and setting reminders for key activities. Calendar items can be color-coded and/or flagged based on their importance of due date. Calendars are used frequently in organizations to make scheduling easier when including multiple people for a meeting. Using a calendar application can also increase productivity because you can manage your time more efficiently. Many of the calendar apps also integrate well with cell phones so that you can receive notifications of upcoming appointments if you are not at your computer. You may also find when scheduling family or personal appointments such as dentist appointments, those appointments can be directly added to your calendar by the doctor's office. While some may still prefer the traditional paper planner for keeping their schedule, the convenience of calendar applications has prompted many businesses to adopt them for use in their organization. Spotlight on ethics: adjusting privacy settings in your electronic calendar. While electronic calendars are incredibly useful and convenient, we must also recognize that these calendars may be viewed by others, especially if we are using our employer's software. Google Calendar and Outlook Calendar can be viewed by others easily, requiring us to use privacy options such as adjusting viewing permissions for different individuals. You may want to prevent some people from viewing your calendar entirely, provide only limited information such as availability to others, and allow full access to your calendar to some. You can also control what information you can make available on a calendar appointment. For instance, you can make an appointment private and not viewable by anyone. This slot will show up as private with no further details. This is helpful for keeping private appointments or sensitive appointments. Calendar integration and syncing. Syncing calendars stored in other applications is an essential component of getting the best use of a calendar application. You could have a calendar on your phone for personal appointments and reminders, a calendar for your work tasks on your work computer, and then perhaps another calendar to keep track of your extended family birthdays. Through calendar integration, these calendars can be synced into one place. This often involves simple changes to the settings in the software to link all the calendars together. In fact, when you first install a calendar application on your device, you might be prompted to integrate existing calendars during the setup process. Common calendar applications. Figure 2.17 shows the calendar feature in Microsoft Outlook. The calendar function and email are integrated in the program. You cannot delete the calendar application, but you can choose not to use it. There are no preset events in the calendar application. You can set the program to give you notifications of meetings and tasks when you are in the email program. The Outlook calendar also has a meeting scheduler to assist with scheduling meetings and can even be used to determine if specific meeting spaces are available in the organization. Outlook calendar has a useful feature to set up recurring meetings that happen at some frequency. For example, if your company has a set meeting each week for Salesforce updates, you can set this up in Outlook once and it will be added to all attendees' calendars for the time frame you desire. An online calendar highlights January 24th with a blue box. Switch email and envelope icon is at bottom left. Appointments are listed with times and in various color designations in the calendar. Figure 2.17 to switch back to Outlook Mail, just choose the envelope in the lower left corner of the screen. Used with permission from Microsoft. If you already have a Google account, you have access to Google Calendar. Google Calendar is easy to use and integrates well with a wide variety of platforms. With Google Calendar, you create multiple calendars to manage different events. You can then manage the settings for each of the calendars independently. All the created calendars are integrated into an overall calendar interface. You can use color coding to differentiate the different calendars when viewing in the main calendar view, as Figure 2.18 shows. You access Google Calendar by logging into your Google account. A Create button is visible in a calendar. The list of options under My Calendars includes Angela Mitchell selected, reminders, and tasks. Under Other Calendars, Holidays in United States is listed. Figure 2.18 to create a new calendar appointment, choose Create. All calendars displayed in the main calendar view are listed in the lower left of the screen. Google Calendar is a trademark of Google LLC. Learning objectives. By the end of this section, you will be able to know how to access Microsoft applications. Describe the key functions within Microsoft's standard menus. Create, save, and open a document. Both personal and business productivity have increased as the result of technological advances. Computer technology has facilitated communication, information sharing, and data analytics. Although there have been several software programs developed over the years in these areas, two main leaders have emerged. Microsoft and Google are most common in organizations today and are suitable for a variety of purposes. Google and Microsoft have dominated the market for productivity software programs because they have adapted to the changing needs of businesses. Their success continues because of their forward thinking and response to market needs. Overview of Microsoft 365. Microsoft launched Microsoft Office in 1990. This suite of applications included three main programs: Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. These programs are bundled as a package to give the user the full range of productivity tools to meet a wide variety of needs. Office applications offer the flexibility to appeal to various preferences with the many ways to perform tasks within the software. Office applications are compatible across a wide variety of platforms, including mobile devices and Apple Mac operating systems. The applications also integrate well with other software. You may be aware of older versions of Office, such as Office 2016 or 2019, but the latest product, Microsoft 365, moves beyond these static versions, instead offering a subscription that updates automatically. With the introduction of Microsoft 365, the programs use a cloud-based technology that can be accessed anywhere. Microsoft 365 also enhanced the collaborative features of the programs. Accessing and maintaining Microsoft products. When you register for a Microsoft 365 account, you are given access to OneDrive, which is its product that provides online storage in the cloud. This offers many advantages. When you save a file to your OneDrive, you will be able to access it from any computer as long as you have an internet connection. There are different versions of Microsoft 365 available for purchase, but most software today uses this subscription-based model for a fee. The software programs are installed on your devices as apps, but can also be accessed through the web-based versions with some limitations to functionality. Updates to the programs are provided regularly by Microsoft and should be performed when prompted. Sometimes the Information Technology Department, IT, will take care of these software maintenance issues with your company or school equipment. There are student editions of most versions of Microsoft 365 that can be purchased at a reduced cost or even for free. The student editions might also have some limitations to the functionality of the programs. Applications. The Microsoft 365 suite includes software for many of the most common computer needs in today's workplace, as well as for personal use, including word processing, spreadsheets, presentations, database management, an email and calendar interface, and a collaboration tool. Table 2.2 provides an overview of the applications within the suite. Other chapters in this text will cover these programs in detail. What comes next in this chapter is a breakdown of commands that are common to all the Microsoft 365 applications, so you can get a basic understanding of how to navigate. Application type description. Word processing create documents such as reports, memos, agendas, resumes, flyers, and mailings. Excel spreadsheet create database sheets and workbooks for gathering data, performing functions, and analysis. PowerPoint presentations create slide presentations for use in workplace meetings or client showcases. Access database create and maintain databases of information. Outlook email manage email communications and calendars. Teams collaboration tool set up workspaces for collaboration, such as a team might use on a specific project. Table 2. Do Microsoft 365 applications. Overview ribbons tabs and commands menu. Since its initial release, Microsoft's suite of Office products has been a driver of change, introducing new features in each subsequent version. Since the 2007 version, the apps have used the ribbon, an interactive bar of commands at the top of the application, as their user interface. With the ribbon, all the functions are clearly organized and user-friendly. The ribbon is organized into tabs, each of which houses a collection of thematically grouped commands. The default tabs are File, Home, Insert, Design, Layout, References, Mailings, Review, View, and Help. As you hover your mouse over the ribbon, you will notice many small icons, pictures that have a command over them. A command directs the program to complete a process, such as save. When you select the save icon, the command will start. As you can see in Figure 219, the commands in the ribbon are organized into a command group of similar or related buttons, which appear together on the ribbon tabs. Home is labeled with tab. All tabs and command groups together are labeled ribbon. Font, paragraph, and style sections are labeled with command group labels. Figure 219. The Home tab contains the command groups font, paragraph, and styles, which are used for formatting text. Used with permission from Microsoft. Each tab generates a different ribbon with the appropriate commands and command groups. This section introduces the most used tabs. You will learn more details about them and practice using them in each specific application as the book goes on. Figure 220 shows the tabs available in Word and Excel, and Figure 221 shows the tabs available in PowerPoint and Access. A. Tabs displayed for Word, File, Home, Developer, Insert, Design, Layout, References, Mailings, Review, View, Help. B. Tabs displays for Excel. File, Home, Insert, Page Layout, Formulas, Data, Review, View, Help, Inquire. Figure 220. The main menu bars for A, Word, and B, Excel share common tabs, File, Home, Insert, Help, for instance, but also contain tabs that are in character with their main functions, such as references in Word and formulas in Excel. Used with permission from Microsoft. A. PowerPoint tabs visible, File, Home, Insert, Design, Transitions, Animations, Slideshow, Review, View, and Recording. B. Access tabs visible. File, Home, Create, External Data, Database Tools, Help, Table Fields, and Table. Figure 221. The main menu bars for A, PowerPoint, and B, Access also share common tabs with one another and with Word and Excel, File, Home, Insert, Help, for instance. They also contain tabs that are in character with their main functions, such as animations in PowerPoint and database tools in Access. Used with permission from Microsoft. File tab. If you open a Microsoft product without opening any specific file, you will see the Welcome screen, which provides a backstage view. The backstage view is located in an application for managing most tasks related to the documents. In Backstage View, you can open, close, rename, print, and control the settings for the application. There will be many commonalities within the Office programs for the tabs. When you have opened a file in an application such as Word or Excel, the Backstage View gives you information about that file you are working with. As you can see in Figure 222, the file properties are shown on the right pane of the Backstage View, which displays critical metrics about your document, such as its size, number of pages, number of words, file name, last saved time, and when it was printed. Backstage View also includes important commands such as file protection, inspecting the document, and managing the document, which will be discussed later in this chapter. Info window lists. File properties, size, pages, words, total editing time, title, tags, comments, template, status, categories, subject, hyperlink base, company, related dates, last modified, created, last printed, related people, manager, author. Figure 222 Backstage View shows file properties, which are the statistics and technical details of your file. Used with permission from Microsoft. Backtib. The Backstage View is not included in the Mac version of Office, but you can get the properties of a file by going to the File tab and choosing Properties. Creating a new file. As you open an Office application, you will be introduced to the Welcome screen, which shows your recent files on the left and your options on the right. See Figure 223. Because you are in Word, you can choose Blank Document to start a new document, or you can select a template from the default template list. A template is a document with many fields already filled and formatted, ready for the user to work on. A home window displays options to select a blank document or other templates. Options for recent documents are available, listing recently accessed files with the name and date modified indicated. Figure 223. The Welcome screen gives you 3 choices. Start from scratch with a new file, create a file from a template, or open a recent file you have already saved. Used with permission from Microsoft. Mac tip. The Mac version does not have the same Welcome screen. To create a new file, go to the File tab and choose New Document or New Document from Template. To create a new document without using a template, simply select Blank Document. A new document will be opened with a blank screen for you to create your file. This new document will be opened in a new window. You can then add the content to the document and save the document if desired. More about document creation will be covered in later chapters in the book, Saving a File. The Save command is located at the upper left corner of the window. Using the Save command saves your document in its same location, with its same file name. It is a way of making sure your work does not get lost in case your computer crashes or the application closes suddenly. A good best practice is to save your document occasionally, by either pressing on the Save icon or using Ctrl+S. You can also set up automatic saving at specified time intervals. The Save As command, located on the File tab, allows you to not only save the file with a different name but also to change its location and its type. When you save the file to a new type, for instance, Save As PDF, the file opens in the new file format. The previous file type remains open. When you click on the Save As command, a dialog box will appear, asking you to select the location where you want to save the new version and what you want to name it. Large companies like WorldCorp will typically give their employees a schema or convention to follow when naming files, so that the company will have a unified system that all employees can easily identify and understand. This also allows people within the organization to be able to keep track of different information about the file, such as its version and the project or department it is associated with. For example, if the name of your Market Trends report is Market Report V1 DocX, the next version could be Market Report V2 DocX. This gives you a version history of the file, which enables you to keep track of older and newer versions. Figure 224 shows the current folder and the name of the file you want to change. Save As is selected, then this PC, opening to the file location folder. The name is being changed to Marketing Report *. DocX, below the bar are other versions of the report and date modified. Figure 224. When you save as, you can change the file name, the file format, or both. Used with permission from Microsoft. Save As can also be helpful in other situations. For example, you may want to save your file in a different format so that it can be opened by a different application. You would also use the Save As command to save the file in a different folder, with a different name for categorization purposes. The default Word file format is DocX, but you could also save it as a PDF or RTF. Microsoft also offers the option to save to a different location, for example, your local computer, a shared private location such as a company drive, or the cloud OneDrive. This allows you to save your work easily even if the device you are working on does not have saving capacity, and also gives you the ability to share your work with others. You will learn more about collaboration later. To share a file with others, first save your presentation to OneDrive. Choose File, then Share, and then Share with People, opening an existing file. With the desktop version of Microsoft 365, your recent file list will be readily available in Backstage View. If the file you want does not appear in your recent file list, click on File and then Open. Locate the file, select it, and click Open. If you want a file to always appear in your recent file list, you can pin it. Go back to File, and the file that is now open will have a pushpin icon next to its name. Click on the pushpin, and the file will be pinned. To access a file in Microsoft 365 online, you must set up an account with Microsoft if you do not already have one. Then you can go to the program you are working in and you will find your recent file list. OneDrive also gives you access to files not listed in your recent file list. Locate the file you want and click Open. Your document should appear, printing a file. To print a file, choose the File tab. In the list of options on the left, you will see Print. When you click on Print, you will be shown a preview of your document along with print options. See Figure 225. The print options include a variety of settings such as number of copies, printer selection, and paper size. You can also print on both sides of the paper or select only certain sheets to print. When you have chosen the desired settings, choose Print on the upper left side of the screen. Print is selected and options available include Print, Copies, Printer, Print All Pages, Print One-Sided, Collated, Custom Staple Setting, Portrait Orientation, and Letter. A preview of document displays at the right. Figure 225. You can also choose to have your document stapled if that option is available on your printer. Used with permission from Microsoft. Mac tip. Print screen on a Mac displays the options that are included with the user's installed printer. Options. The Options command at the bottom of the File tab contains a multitude of choices that control the way your workspace appears, determine the way the text is corrected, and allow changes to many aspects of the program. A summary of the options available is shown in Table 2.3. General provides options that affect the user interface. Display changes how the content is shown on the screen and when it is printed. Proofing sets the way spelling and grammar are checked. Save sets up autosave to save a copy of your work at scheduled intervals. Language chooses the language in which menus and controls appear. Accessibility checks your documents for accessibility to people with visual or other challenges. Advanced sets how words are edited, replaced, or cut and pasted. Customize ribbon allows users to choose which commands are shown on the ribbon. Quick Access Toolbar allows users to choose what is displayed on the Quick Access Toolbar above the ribbon. Add-ins manages the available Office add-ins. Trust Center sets security settings, most of which should remain as set. Table 2.3 Summary of the Options dialog box. The Options command appears in all Office applications and provides helpful settings. The Options command, present in all Office applications, opens an Options dialog box as shown in Figure 2.26. Before you start working, it's advisable to click on each of the options items to see what each covers. An options item that is critical to your work is a save option called Auto Recover. Just ask yourself, has my computer ever frozen in the middle of a sentence? This happens to everyone, but Auto Recover can prevent a catastrophe by allowing you to set the program to automatically save your work every 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or whatever interval you choose. Another helpful option is proofing, which allows Microsoft to check your spelling as you type. You will find some options that you may never need to change. In the future, however, you will be glad to know where to locate these hidden settings. General is selected. Word Options displays some selections. When using multiple displays, optimize for best appearance, show mini toolbar on selection, enable live preview, update document content while dragging, enable modern comments. Figure 2.26 The Options command, present in all Office applications, opens an Options dialog box with many available options or settings that can be changed. Used with permission from Microsoft. Customize ribbon and the Quick Access Toolbar are useful features. Because you are likely to use both functions on a regular basis, you want their commands to always be visible. This is most easily done by customizing the ribbon or the Quick Access Toolbar. There are probably some other commands that you wish you had immediate access to but did not know this was possible. For example, did you know that you can add an email command to either the ribbon or the Quick Access Toolbar? Suppose you want to email someone and add a presentation to your email as an attachment. If you add email to your ribbon or Quick Access Toolbar, you can just click on the email command, which will open your regular email program with access to your address book, and add an attachment of the presentation to the email. No more need to open the email program independently, then search for the file on your computer and finally attach it. As another example, suppose you work with a lot of graphics. There are numerous commands associated with drawing and inserting graphics that are generally hidden. You may not even be aware that these functions exist. But when you change the scope to all commands and look through the choices, you will find many commands that can save you a lot of time if you set them up for immediate access. There are two ways to customize the Quick Access toolbar. First, from the Options dialog box, select the Quick Access toolbar, shown in Figure 227. PowerPoint Quick Access toolbar is selected. Customize the Quick Access toolbar displays drop-down menus for choose commands from and Customize Quick Access toolbar. Add and remove buttons are between the drop-downs. Figure 227 to customize the Quick Access toolbar, add commands from the selections on the left to the list on the right. Used with permission from Microsoft. For example, to add a Quick Print option, scroll down to Quick Print in the list of commands on the left. Highlight Quick Print, click the Add button, and Quick Print will appear on the Quick Access toolbar, as seen in Figure 228, which shows the result of customizing the Quick Access toolbar. Quick Access toolbar is selected in PowerPoint Options. Customize the Quick Access toolbar displays Quick Print selected from popular commands and being added to Customize Quick Access toolbar. Figure 228 items added to the Quick Access toolbar will appear at the top of the screen when you open the program. Used with permission from Microsoft. The second way to customize is to right-click on the Quick Access toolbar, which opens a context menu. Choose Quick Print from the menu items, as shown in Figure 229. The Quick Print option should appear on the Quick Access toolbar. Quick Print is being selected from the Customize Quick Access toolbar drop-down located above the ribbon. Figure 229. Using the context menu, you can easily add the Quick Print option to the Quick Access toolbar. Used with permission from Microsoft. Back tip: the Quick Access toolbar is found on the Preferences tab on the app main page. Customizing the ribbon is a similar process. Start at the Customize the Ribbon command from Options in Backstage view. To add a command to the ribbon, you first have to create a new group as follows. Choose the tab on the right where you want to add the new command. For the purposes of this demonstration, choose the Draw group, making sure there is a check mark next to the Draw box. Click on New Group, which will be listed when you click on the plus sign next to Draw. In the box at the top left, select commands not in the ribbon, see Figure 230. Scroll down to Borders and Shading and click Add. Then, select another command, Brightness, and click Add. When you return to the application, you will see your new group with the options selected. Using this method, you can select any command from the left and add it to the ribbon commands on the right. This works for all the Office programs. Customize the ribbon is selected in PowerPoint Options. Customize the ribbon displays drop-down menus for choose commands from and customize the ribbon. Add and remove buttons are between the drop-downs. Figure 230. Customizing the ribbon can facilitate your productivity by including items you use frequently for quicker access. Used with permission from Microsoft. Link to Learning. Microsoft products offer hundreds of keyboard shortcuts, such as holding down the Control button and S at the same time saves a document, that can help you work more quickly and efficiently. The Microsoft support page on keyboard shortcuts in Word provides a long list of these shortcuts, categorized by activity type. Home tab. The Home tab is where you begin to create your document, spreadsheet, or presentation. The ribbon for the Home tab in Word is shown in Figure 231. You can view the ribbon as Command Central for the application. It is a collection of commands and command groups that govern the basics of the program you are working with. Each group of commands is separated by a thin vertical line, see arrow in Figure 231. Font command group includes font, font size, increase and decrease font size, change case, clear all formatting, bold, italic, underline, strike-through, subscript, superscript, text effects and typography, text highlight color, font color. Figure 231. The Home tab contains items such as formatting the font size and determining the line spacing. Used with permission from Microsoft. First is the Clipboard group, which contains the commands for all the cut and paste functions. As in all the Office applications, an arrow next to or below a label means that there are other possible choices for that function. Notice that the Paste command has an arrow below it. Clicking on the arrow gives you several paste options. If you hover over them, you will see helpful descriptions and previews. The Font command group is similar across applications. You can choose bold, italic, underline, strike through, and highlight. You can also regulate character spacing and add a superscript or subscript. Primarily, however, you will change the font face, color, and size. Sticking with Word to get an idea of how the Home tab operates, the paragraph command group contains the commands for indentation and for aligning text to the right or to the left, centered, or justified. You can create columns, change the direction of the text by rotating 90, 180, or 270 degrees, or stack the letters on top of one another. The paragraph command group also contains the commands for creating bulleted and numbered lists and for adding SmartArt graphics to text. Notice that there is an arrow associated with most of these commands, indicating that each one offers still more choices for formatting a paragraph. Table 2 4 lists common keyboard shortcuts. To use each action, press the Control button, and while holding it down, press the next key. You may find these shortcuts useful so that you do not have to take your hands from the keyboard to use the mouse. It might be helpful to bookmark this table for future reference as you work through the rest of the book. Action keyboard shortcut, action keyboard shortcut, action keyboard shortcut. Copy Control plus C, italic Control plus I, help F1. Cut Control plus X, center Control plus E, open a file, Control plus O. Paste Control plus V, justify Control plus J, create a new file, Control plus N. Undo Control plus Z, underline Control plus U, save a file, Control plus S. Redo Control plus Y, align left, Control plus L, print a file, Control plus P. Bold Control plus B, find Control plus F, close a file, Control plus W. Table 2. 4 common keyboard shortcuts in Office. Mac tip. On a Mac, Control is replaced with Command. Format Painter. Format Painter, represented with a paintbrush icon, is a shortcut tool that is available in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. This tool lets you copy the formatting of a section of text, a cell, or whatever you choose to another place on a document, spreadsheet, or slide, respectively. It is especially useful when you need to reformat large amounts of text. First, select the text that has been formatted in the way you want. Then, click on Format Painter and the cursor will turn into a little paintbrush as Figure 2.32 shows. Brush over the text you want to change, let go of the mouse, and the text will now be formatted in the desired style. Note that if you want to use Format Painter again, you will have to repeat the steps outlined above. To format a lot of text, double-click on the Format Painter icon, and it will last until you click on it one more time. In PowerPoint, the Format Painter icon, a paintbrush from the clipboard command group, is enlarged for view. Figure 232 Format Painter is a handy tool to brush, so to speak, over text and format it as you like. Used with permission from Microsoft. Insert tab. The Insert tab allows you to insert a variety of items into your file, including visual images such as pictures or diagrams, tables, links, and equations or special symbols. The Insert tab will differ a bit by program. Figure 2.33 shows what the Insert tab looks like for Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. For example, in Word and PowerPoint, you have options to insert SmartArt. Excel has many options to insert charts and graphs. More details about the specific insert options will appear in the chapters to follow on each of the programs. A Word Insert tab includes pages, tables, illustrations, reuse files, add-ins, media. B Excel Insert tab includes tables, illustrations, add-ins, charts. C PowerPoint Insert tab includes slides, tables, images, illustrations, forms, links. Figure 2.33 A Insert tab for Word, B Excel, and C PowerPoint. Different tabs appear for each program depending on the program's purpose. Used with permission from Microsoft. Design tab. The Design tab is found on the ribbon in Word and in PowerPoint. See Figure 2.34. The tab includes options to customize the look of the document or presentation. There are preset themes that you can use to enhance the document or slide, or you can create your own theme. The options on the Design tab are covered in more depth in creating and working in documents and preparing presentations. A Word Design tab selected. The command group Document Formatting displays various document themes for selection. B PowerPoint Design tab selected. The command group Themes displays various document theme options for selection. Figure 234A, the Design tab in Word allows you to choose preset themes for formatting text, or you can create your own design choices. B. PowerPoint's Design tab functions similarly. Used with permission from Microsoft. Layout and Page Layout tabs. The Layout tab Word and Page Layout Excel tabs control items such as spacing and margins in your file. You can use the options on the tabs to insert page breaks, change the orientation, and define the print area. In Page Layout in Excel, you can also apply a theme to your spreadsheet to enhance the visual appeal. This is similar to what you would find on the Design tab for Word and PowerPoint. Figure 2:35 shows the tabs for Word and Excel. The chapters on Word and Excel will cover these tabs in depth. A. Word Layout tab displays page setup and paragraph command groups. B. Excel Page Layout tab displays themes, page setup, scale to fit, and sheet options command groups. Figure 2:35A. The Layout tab in Word and B. Page Layout tab in Excel allow you to set up your document or spreadsheet for easier reading and visual appeal. Used with permission from Microsoft. Review tab. The Review tab is found in 3 Office programs. Access does not have a Review tab. In Word, the Review tab is useful to check spelling, track changes within a document, and compare previous versions of documents to each other. The Review tab in Excel also contains a spell check feature, but also allows you to add comments and to protect the worksheet from editing by others. Finally, the Review tab options in PowerPoint are very similar to those in Excel. The Review tab is a great place to reference to make sure your file is ready to share with others and to collaborate by adding comments. Figure 2:36 shows the Review tabs for Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. A. Word Review tab displays proofing, speech, accessibility, language, comments. B. Excel Review tab displays proofing, accessibility, insights, language, comments. C. PowerPoint Review tab displays proofing, accessibility, language, comments. Figure 2:36 The Review tab in A. Word, B. Excel, and C. PowerPoint all share common functions, such as creating and managing comments from multiple users. Used with permission from Microsoft. View tab. The View tab is also seen in Office applications, except Access. It can customize what you see on the screen. You can change the options to show you what the file will look like when printed by choosing the Print Layout view. You can use the options to zoom in to make the screen larger. Finally, there are options to view files open in the same program side by side or to switch between the open windows when working with multiple files at a time. Notice the slight differences in options between the 3 applications in Figure 237. A. Word View tab includes views, immersive, page movement, show, zoom. B. Excel View tab includes sheet workbook views, show, zoom. C. PowerPoint View tab includes presentation master views, show, zoom, color, grayscale. Figure 2:37 The A View tab in Word, B. Excel, and C. PowerPoint sets how your document, spreadsheet, or presentation will appear on screen. Used with permission from Microsoft. Help tab. The Help tab looks the same in all the Office applications. The Help tab gives you options to seek help on an issue with the application you are working with. Through the tab, you can use the Help search by clicking on the question mark, or you can contact support directly. The Show training is a good place to start if you have not used the program at all before. It gives you a collection of help tutorials to walk you through many of the more common features used in the program. When you select any of the options on the Help tab, a window will open at the right to assist you further. See Figure 2:38. Help is selected. Help dialog box displays search bar, get started, collaborate, insert text, pages and layouts, pictures, save and print, mail merge, recommended topics, words for Windows training, layout pages. Figure 2:38 When you select the general help search with the question mark, you can type the topic or question you need help with into the search bar. Used with permission from Microsoft. Other tabs. Based on the application you are using, there are different tabs that are included in the ribbon specific to that program. These tabs offer options that relate to the functionality of the program. For example, in Word, you have a Mailings tab that can send a document to a large database of individuals. In PowerPoint, you have the Slideshow tab that contains options for developing your presentation. Table 2:5 gives you the default tabs for each program. Remember, using the customized ribbon option, you can change which tabs you have displayed in the programs. Word Home, Insert Layout, References, Mailings, Review, View, and Help. Excel Home, Insert Page Layout, Formulas, Data, Review, View, and Help. PowerPoint Home, Insert Design, Transitions, Animations, Slideshow, Review, View, and Help. Access Home, Create External Data, Database Tools, Help, Table Fields, and Table. Table 2. 5 default tabs by Office program. Each program has a ribbon of default tabs. Learning objectives. By the end of this section, you will be able to access Google Workspace's applications. Describe the key functions within Google's standard menus. Create, open, and save a document. The Google group of programs, called Google Workspace, includes applications similar to those of Microsoft Office. But a key difference between Google and Microsoft programs is that Google is a cloud-based platform only. That means the programs are accessed through the cloud and not installed on your computer or device. Google first launched its platform in 2006 as Google Apps for your domain. The collection of applications has been rebranded by Google, first as Google Suite and then as Google Workspace as it is called today. Many of the programs in Google Workspace are free, but there are some additional programs and features that are available to businesses for a fee. You can also pay to have additional cloud storage through Google. Many schools and colleges use an educational version of Google called Google Classroom. In your role at WorldCorp, you work closely with a team of 6 colleagues in the marketing department. The team leader has decided that for internal teamwork, you will use the Google suite of products because of their advanced capabilities for collaborating with others. Also, the user-friendly nature of Google products makes them appropriate for working with others in your small marketing team. Overview of Google Workspace. Google Workspace consists of several applications that are useful in the workplace. You may be most familiar with its communication and scheduling tools, Gmail and Google Calendar, discussed in communication and calendar applications. Google also offers a suite of applications similar to those in Office, including software for word processing, Google Docs, spreadsheets, Google Sheets, and presentations, Google Slides. One distinctive feature of Google's Docs, Sheets, and Slides applications is that your work is automatically saved to the cloud. This automatic save function helps prevent accidental file loss. Google also maintains a history of all versions of the file, so if you need to restore to an earlier version or check on the history of an edit formatting change, you can view that information in the version history, which will be covered later in this section. Although each application has specific purposes and performs different tasks, some features are shared across the entire Google suite of products. These include essential functions like opening and saving a file, formatting fonts and spacing, inserting objects like a visual image, and accessing help to learn new skills within the software. Accessing and maintaining Google products. To access Google's products, you must first create an account with Google and acquire the free email program Gmail. You get to that through Google.com. Once you have set up a Gmail account, you will have access to all the Google apps. Since the software resides online rather than downloaded onto your device, maintenance is automated. Google regularly provides updates as new features and improvements are introduced. Whenever updates are rolled out, you will typically receive a notice along with a summary and walkthrough of changes. It is a best practice to take the time to view these explanations, as they will allow you to take advantage of new features as they are released. Applications. Once you have a Gmail account set up, you can access Google's applications by opening the Google Chrome browser or any other browser by going to Google.com and signing into your account. In the upper right corner, you will see 9 dots arranged in a 3x3 array, as shown in Figure 239. Clicking on the dots opens a menu of all the Google apps. A Google window shows an icon of 9 dots arranged in a 3x3 array on the upper right side to represent the menu of apps. Figure 239. Click on the dots in the upper right corner to open the menu of apps. Gmail is a trademark of Google LLC. You will see 2 sections of offerings. In the first, shown in Figure 240A, you can access your Google account settings and can use common tools such as the Google search engine for internet searches, maps for locating places and navigating trips, Play for accessing apps for your mobile device, Meet for online meetings, Drive for storing your files, Gmail for email, and Calendar for scheduling. The second section includes the offerings that are the focus of this course. You will see various applications, including Docs and Sheets. If you wanted to work on a presentation, you would select the Google Slides option, as shown in Figure 2. 40b. Google Gmail apps displayed include Account, Search, Maps, YouTube, Play, News, Gmail, Meet, Chat, Contacts, Drive, and Calendar. B. Google Gmail apps displays various apps, including Slides enlarged. Figure 240a. Gmail includes many apps. B. Slides, which is similar to PowerPoint, is one of them. Gmail is a trademark of Google LLC. Like most application suites, Google continually expands and changes its offerings. Older applications may be phased out over time, while the most popular applications undergo regular updates. Table 2. 6 provides a summary of Google offerings. In this course, we will focus mostly on Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. Application type description. Docs word processing create documents such as reports, memos, and agendas. Sheets spreadsheet create database spreadsheets for storing and analyzing data. Slides presentations create slide presentations such as for a workplace meeting or client showcase. Gmail email send and receive emails. Calendar schedule individual events and collaborative meetings. Search the internet based on search terms. Maps and navigation provide navigation directions based on location or address. Play application store list apps on Android devices that are available for download. Meet online meetings video conference with others. Drive file storage store files. Similar to OneDrive, the cloud-based storage for files in Google. Contacts contact information organize and store contact information such as email addresses and phone numbers for people. Classroom educational interface create a classroom interface to share files, turn in assignments, and have class discussions virtually. Table 2. 6 common Google applications. The Google Workspace includes applications for all the tools you need in the workplace, from communicating with colleagues to creating documents and presentations. Menu overview. As you've learned, all the applications in the Google Workspace share some general features and functions, which are found in the menus. Although there are slight differences between the apps, they all contain these essential menus. File, edit, view, insert, format, tools, add-ons or extensions, and help, as Figure 2.41 shows. These menus are similar to the tabs in Office, but in Google they are called menus. A. Docs menu. File, edit, view, insert, format, tools, add-ons. B. Sheets menu. File, edit, view, insert, format, data, tools. C. Slides menu. File, edit, view, insert, format, slide, arrange, tools. Figure 2.41. The main menu bars for A. Docs, B. Sheets, and C. Slides are similar from File to Help. Google Workspace is a trademark of Google LLC. Not only are there similarities between the various Google applications, but many of the menu options are also similar to those you learned about in Essentials of Microsoft Office. As you progress through the course, you will learn and practice most of the specific features within each menu. Here, our focus is on the essential shared functions. File menu. The File menu is used to open files in Drive, to create new files, and to print materials. In addition, the Make Available Offline option lets you work on files when you do not have internet access. See Figure 2.42. File displays these options. New open, make a copy, share, email, download, rename, move, add shortcut to Drive, move to trash, version history, make available offline, details, language, page setup, and print. Figure 2.42. The File menu is mainly used for opening and saving documents. Google Docs is a trademark of Google LLC. The File menu also has tools for saving and exporting files in different formats. Docs and Sheets are compatible with their Microsoft counterparts, so users have the option of either working on a Word or Excel file in Docs or converting the file into a Google file. This appears in the menu as the Save as Google Docs command. Google Files can be opened and edited in only a browser window from your Drive. Recall that Google automatically saves your work for you in the cloud. If you want to save files locally or to other locations, you will need to use the Download command, which enables you to export the current version of the document onto your own computer as a Word document, Excel spreadsheet, PDF, or some other file format. Link to learning. If you own a smartphone, you likely already use the cloud to capture your text messages and other activities performed on your cell phone. The cloud has become increasingly important in the business world, and it is helpful to understand how it works. To learn more, watch this video on what the cloud is and how it pervades our lives from Scientific American. The download command brings up the menu shown in Figure 243. Using slides as an example, one of the download options enables you to download your presentation as a PowerPoint file. Options available from download: Microsoft PowerPoint, PPTX, ODP document, ODP PDF document, PDF plain text, TXT JPEG image, JPG current slide, PNG image, PNG current slide, scalable vector graphics, SVG current slide. Figure 243. Download your presentation to one of 7 other formats, including a PowerPoint file. Google Slides is a trademark of Google LLC. The File menu also allows you to explore your document settings. You can use the email command to send the file to one or more collaborators. The Document Details option contains the file's statistics and technical data. The Page Setup command can modify paper size or format. As in Word, you can make your document's orientation either portrait vertical or landscape horizontal. The 2 most critical tools in the File menu are Version History and Share. Version History is a feature unique to Docs. Every time you make a change in a file, Google auto-saves your document, keeping many versions of the file. Version History allows you to revert to a previous version of a file or simply to look back at previous versions for reference. The Share command enables a document's owner to invite others to work on it. It is used to tag or add collaborators who can read, comment, develop, or edit the file. If you want to create a copy of an existing file, you can use the Save a Copy command. As Figure 244 shows, this command allows you to make a copy of your doc and save the document under another name. You can save it to the drive, which uses the cloud, as discussed. Or you can save the file to your hard drive, but your files are safer in the cloud, and using cloud storage allows you to free up storage on your local device. Copy document window lists name, copy of marketing report, folder, my drive, options for share it with the same people, and copy comments and suggestions. Cancel and make a copy buttons at bottom. Figure 244. Creating a copy of an existing file by using the Save a Copy command. Google Docs is a trademark of Google LLC. Opening an existing file. To open an existing presentation in Slides, first, go to Drive, called My Drive on your computer. You will see your recently saved presentations listed across the top. Even if you are working offline, you will still have access to your files. If you do not see your presentation file, click on Recent under My Drive in the left pane or scroll down. Figure 245 shows a typical Drive page. Your most recent presentations will be shown across the top, and below you will find all the files you created using one of the Google apps. Click on your presentation to open it. Google Drive tab displays My Drive, Computers, Shared with Me, Recent, Starred, Trash, and Storage. Recent presentations and other recent work is displayed with images as well as name and last modified. Figure 245. This is a typical Drive page showing recent presentations and other recent work. Google Drive is a trademark of Google LLC. Creating a new file. In the File menu, selecting New opens a menu, as shown in Figure 246. You can select a new presentation from Template, New Document, New Spreadsheet, New Form, or New Drawing. New is selected and opens to these options for selection at the right. Presentation from Template, Document, Spreadsheet, Form, and Drawing. Figure 246. Select New Presentation, New Document, New Spreadsheet, New Form, or New Drawing. Google Drive is a trademark of Google LLC. After you have chosen the file type you want to create, a blank file of that type will appear on the screen. The document will open with a default name based on the program. For example, a new doc will have the default name of Untitled Document, and this will be listed at the top of the screen. See Figure 247. To change this name to something more meaningful, double-click on the current title at the top of the screen. This will highlight the words Untitled Document so that you can delete that and rename the file. You can also access the Rename command in the File menu. The process is the same for sheets and slides. The document title is selected, and the name of the document, Untitled Document, is visible in a blue background. Figure 247, you can also rename the file you just created by using the Rename command in the File menu. Google Docs is a trademark of Google LLC. Google also has a wide variety of templates to choose from. You can create a new file using a template in a similar manner to how you use templates in Office. Templates can be a great place to start if you are designing a specialized document or file such as an invoice or a budget worksheet. They can also be useful when doing more creative work such as designing flyers. The templates can provide a starting point for you, and you can customize to meet your needs. To access the templates in Google for each of the programs, use the expanded menu to the side of the program name when you choose New. See Figure 2. 48. In Drive, a menu lists folder, file upload, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Forms, and more. Google Slides opens to blank presentation and from a template for selection. Figure 2. 48. When creating a new file in Google, you can either create a file from scratch or start with a template. Google Drive is a trademark of Google LLC. Printing a file. The print command in Google is found in the File menu. There are also two shortcuts to printing a file, Ctrl+P or the printer icon on the toolbar. When you select Print, a window will open with similar settings that you might see in Office. Figure 249. You can manage the various settings related to printing, such as the number of copies, orientation, and paper size. Like with Office, you will also be able to see a preview of the file you are printing. Print Settings page displays total, 1 page. Document image is visible at left and right side lists selections. Print, paper size, page orientation, scale, percent, margins, set custom breaks, and formatting. Figure 2. 49. When you have changed the appropriate settings, click Next to print the file. Google Docs is a trademark of Google LLC. Edit menu. The Edit menu contains the expected choices: undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, delete, duplicate, select all, and find and replace. Clicking on Find and Replace brings up the window shown in Figure 2. 50. You type in a word from your file. For each occurrence, you confirm whether you want to replace it with another word. Although most misspelled words will be caught by the spell check function. If, for example, you have misspelled a title or name throughout the file, using Find and Replace is an efficient way to make sure you catch all the errors. Find and Replace window displays these options. Find, replace with, search, dropdown, match case, match entire cell contents, search using regular expressions, help, also search within formulas, and also search within links. Figure 2. 50. You can use Find and Replace to find specific text in a file and replace it with other text. Google Sheets is a trademark of Google LLC. The Edit menu for each of the apps looks similar. Figure 2. 51 shows the Edit menu. Edit is selected on the ribbon and opens to these options for selection: undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, paste without formatting, select all, delete, and find and replace. Figure 2. 51. The Edit menu will look the same in Docs, Sheets, and Slides. Google Docs is a trademark of Google LLC. View menu. The View menu controls the way your document or file appears on your screen, allows you to show certain components to others, and lets you set 3 different modes in Docs: editing, suggesting, and viewing. The default mode is editing, which allows the user to edit the document directly. The suggesting mode is similar to track changes in Word, as shown in Figure 252. In this mode, the changes you type into the document become suggestions rather than actual edits. You can then either accept each change by clicking on the check mark or reject it by choosing the X. You can also add comments to the edits, which is especially useful when you are collaborating with others on a document. A phrase is highlighted in document. A box displays suggestion to format, bold, font. A checkmark to accept or X to reject the suggestion, and time and date are visible in box. Figure 252. Notice that when you are in suggesting mode, changes are not saved until you first either accept or reject the edits, as represented by the check mark or X in the comment box. Google Docs is a trademark of Google LLC. In Sheets, you can use the View menu to display the grid lines or not, or to display a ruler at the top. In slides, you use the View menu to view the slideshow, zoom in if needed, or show the speaker notes for the presentation. Figure 2:53 shows the different view menus for each application. A. Docs view menu displays options such as Mode, Show Ruler. B. Sheets view menu displays options such as Show, Freeze. C. Slides view menu displays options such as Slideshow, Motion, Zoom. Figure 2:53 The view menus for A. Docs, B. Sheets, and C. Slides will become more familiar to you as you navigate the programs. Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides are trademarks of Google LLC. Insert menu. The Insert menu is used to insert a variety of items into a file. The different apps may offer different items that are best suited to the purposes and uses of that app. See Figure 254. In Docs, the Insert menu includes items such as inserting images, footnotes, headers, and page numbers. Sheets insert options include inserting columns, rows, charts, and formulas. Finally, Slides includes options for inserting tables, drawings, text boxes, and word art. Other chapters will cover the Insert menu in more detail. A. Docs Insert menu displays options such as image, table. B. Sheets Insert menu displays options such as cells, rows. C. Slides Insert menu displays options such as image, text box, audio. Figure 2:54 The Insert menu in A. Docs, B. Sheets, and C. Slides differ slightly from one another depending on the function of each program. Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides are trademarks of Google LLC. Format menu. The Format menu enables you to alter the visual appearance of most elements within your document, spreadsheet, or slide. Most frequently, you will be formatting text, paragraph setting, spacing, and layout in Docs. In Sheets, you will be formatting the information in the cells and adding conditional formatting based on specific rules. For Slides, the Format menu is much like that of Docs. To see the differences between the format menus, see Figure 2:55. A. Docs Format menu displays options such as text, paragraph styles. B. Sheets Format menu displays options such as theme. C. Slides Format menu displays options such as text, align, and indent. Figure 2:55 The Format menu in A. Docs, B. Sheets, and C. Slides. While the options in Docs and Slides focus on formatting text, Sheets' options allow you to format numerical information in the cells. Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides are trademarks of Google LLC. Tools menu. The Tools menu is where you'll find the tools you need to help ensure the quality of your document, sheet, or slide. Let's examine some of the Docs offerings, shown in Figure 2:56. Spelling and grammar allows you to check for misspelled words, to ensure phrasing and sentences are grammatically correct, and to create a personal dictionary to which you can add frequently used names or words that are not in a standard dictionary. There are also tools for quickly checking editorial matters, such as counting the number of words in your document or seeing a list of linked objects. Notice how the menu also includes keyboard shortcuts. The Tools menu also offers the option of typing by voice recognition, and it includes accessibility settings such as the ability to use a screen reader to read the text on a page aloud and a magnifier to see content at a very large scale. The Tools menu among the three Google apps is very similar. Google Workspace Tools tab offers these options: spelling and grammar, word count, review suggested edits, compare documents, citations, explore linked objects, dictionary, translate document, voice typing, script editor, preferences, and accessibility settings. Figure 2:56 The Tools menu contains some of the most useful features of the Google Workspace. Google Workspace is a trademark of Google LLC. The Tools menu is also where you can set standard preferences for your Google app. The general options allow for automatically capitalizing initial words, automatically applying certain quotation mark styles, and having spell check running in the background, among other functions. In the Substitutions section, you can set certain manually entered items to be automatically formatted, such as fractions. See Figure 2:57. A General tab in Preferences window displays options including automatically capitalize words, use smart quotes, automatically detect links, etc. B Substitutions tab in Preferences window displays options including automatic substitution fraction options. Figure 2. 57. The list in A shows the general preferences, B shows the substitutions. Google Workspace is a trademark of Google LLC. Add-ons or extensions menu. The add-ons menu is where you will find accessory programs that can be used for additional features compatible with Google. For example, in Docs, if you need to work on a document with lots of mathematical formulas and equations, you can install an add-on like MathType, which has offerings that go beyond Docs' equation feature. Or you might install Box, a cloud-based file sharing and storage app to share files with colleagues or clients. Help menu. The help menu is self-explanatory. It contains the body of available knowledge concerning each Google application, as well as all the fine print of the terms of use for the consumer or business. You can search for content related to your question, and you can access training materials in the Help menu. See Figure 2. 58. Conveniently, Docs also offers the user a dialog box with a list of all the keyboard shortcuts. The Help menu in each of the Google apps is similar to the one shown for Docs. A Help tab opens to these options for selection. Search the menus Help Training, Updates, Help Docs Improve, Report Abuse, Privacy Policy, Terms of Service, and Keyboard Shortcuts. Figure 2. 58. Using keyboard shortcuts can be a time saver. Google Docs is a trademark of Google LLC. Other menus. Some Google products have menus specific to the application. For example, Sheets contains a data menu to help format and organize data. Slides has both a Slides tab with a variety of options specific to the presentation page and an Arrange menu for organizing the various slides within a presentation. You will learn how to use these specific menu features as you practice using the software later in the course. Learning objectives. By the end of this section, you will be able to discuss the benefits and challenges of collaborating with technology, describe professional behavior in collaborative meetings, outline how to attend and host a meeting, share and collaborate on documents via editing and commenting. Businesses in nearly all industries have benefited from advances in technology that have presented the need for collaboration among workers who are not located in the same geographic area. Maybe not even on the same continent. Collaboration is essential in today's business environment and occurs at all levels within an organization. For example, the marketing department uses collaboration to make sure that company products are meeting customer needs. This could include working with product developers in the company to convey key customer preferences. It could also mean working with the accounting and finance departments to make sure that the products have the correct price point and that profit margins are being met for the company's strategic goals. Collaboration and teamwork are often used to mean the same thing, but there is a key difference. Both terms are centered on a group of people working toward a shared goal. With teamwork, however, the group will have a defined leader, whereas with collaboration, there is no leader and the group is more self-managed. Collaboration and teamwork have become a core part of most business structures. In fact, being a team player and being comfortable working with others have become key metrics in job performance evaluations. Also, hiring managers seek out these skills in potential candidates. Effective collaboration takes practice. It requires trust, information sharing, listening, and ability to accept feedback and strong leadership to work well. Collaboration in the digitized workplace. Reasons for collaboration are numerous. Collaboration provides innovative solutions to problems through the sharing of ideas and ways to solve the issue at hand. But some results of collaboration can be more concrete. For example, through shared resources, cost savings can be realized. Goals can be attained sometimes at a faster pace with collaboration. Collaboration can contribute to enhanced job satisfaction as well as develop employees' skills. Collaboration does not just happen spontaneously in organizations. Management will need to make an effort to develop the structure and establish the culture of collaboration within the organization. This could mean that management will set up teams or develop other such strategies to encourage the practice of collaboration. Collaborative meetings. Meetings are necessary in nearly all types of organizations. Business meetings may be more discussion-based or more centered on making specific decisions. Meetings are used to make decisions, exchange information, announce changes, convey organizational goals, solve a specific problem, meet with stakeholders outside the organization, or celebrate successes. Historically, meetings have occurred face-to-face, either in a traditional conference room setup or in an individual's office. But today's technology enables us to conduct meetings virtually, and this is where collaborative software programs come in handy. Video conferencing allows users to have a face-to-face meeting without being in the same room or even the same part of the world. Video conferencing tools include Google Meet, Zoom, and FaceTime. You can do video conferencing on a laptop, desktop, phone, or iPad. Meet, as shown in Figure 2.59, is part of the workspace. If you have a Google account, you have access to Meet. An online meeting is open on computer. 12 people are participating, 8 of them with cameras on and 4 with cameras off. The time is displayed at the top right. Figure 2.59. Today's technology enables us to meet with coworkers from across the world in a virtual meeting room. Depending on meeting rules and norms, participants have the option of participating without having to turn on their cameras. Credit 712. 2020 Reunião GT retomada by Ministério Público de Pernambuco/Flickr, CC by 2.0. Zoom has recently become a leader in video conferencing. Zoom offers both individual and corporate-level subscriptions. The program has also been used for educational purposes in many schools and colleges. Skype is a Microsoft product that has been around since 2003. However, it is not as popular as it once was, and Microsoft Teams has taken over much of the functionality that Skype has to offer. Finally, FaceTime is a video calling interface. FaceTime is an Apple product and is used for personal communication rather than for conducting meetings in a business environment. To use video conferencing to its full capability, be sure your computer has either an internal camera or a webcam. Professional meeting etiquette. Meeting etiquette for a video conference should be given the same attention as preparing for an in-person meeting. Although expectations may vary by organizational culture and the context of the meeting, there are some general expectations to keep in mind. First and foremost, be sure to check your technology to make sure you can access the link and that your internet connection is stable. Make sure you are familiar with the software that is being used and know how to use some of the features within the program. Some key items to understand prior to the meeting are: how to unmute yourself, how to turn your camera on/off, how to participate in the group chat during the meeting if applicable, how to enter comments, how to use screen sharing options, how to share files, how to use emojis if available and appropriate during the meeting. During the meeting, unless you are the speaker, be sure to mute yourself. Also, be sure to be in a quiet place without distractions such as pets and children. Consider what might be on the wall behind you. Some programs offer the ability to customize the background that other participants see behind you. Be on time for the meeting just as you would be expected to do for a face-to-face meeting. And finally, dress appropriately for being on camera. In business meetings where you are an active participant, you should have your camera on. If instead it is a large group presentation, it might be appropriate to turn off the camera. It is a good idea to check with the meeting organizer ahead of time to understand the expectations. For best practices in video conferencing, make passwords mandatory for all participants to prevent uninvited guests from attending. Check meeting links to ensure they are accurate and are sent to the appropriate participants. Review security settings on participants' computers to prevent identity theft. Spotlight on ethics. Ethical considerations for recording. Use of video conferencing has grown exponentially due to its convenience and fairly straightforward technology. It is quite easy to use, and most conferencing programs come with useful features and tools to augment the experience. One of these conveniences is the ability to record. Recording meetings can be incredibly useful. We can capture what was said for later reference, or we can share the recording with those unable to attend. That said, there are considerations to keep in mind when using the record feature. For instance, some video conferencing tools may record silently, with no indicator that the conversation is being recorded. In most business settings, however, we want to avoid recording without the express approval of all parties. Some applications will request participants accept the recording. Failure to accept the recording will usually take you out of the session. In addition, different states have different rules about recording audio, video, or both. It would be wise to inform yourself of your state's laws, as well as the company policy for recording meetings and conversations. Collaborative work. One of the biggest differences between Word and Docs is Google's capacity for sharing. Workspace was first in the market for use in offices based on sharing and collaboration. Its biggest advantage is that it allows many people to work on the same document at the same time, with all participants having the document open at once and seamlessly writing and editing different parts of it. Microsoft 365 incorporates some of these capabilities now, but Google has secured a strong market share since its introduction in 2006. Because both Microsoft 365 and Workspace are widely used, it's necessary to learn to use and collaborate in both systems, especially in the file sharing and editing functions. File sharing and transferring. The most popular types of file sharing software are Drive, Microsoft SharePoint and OneDrive, and Dropbox. When sharing and transferring files, you need to have a system. Develop a system that is simple and easy to understand. This might mean that you limit the number of folders or develop a file folder naming system that is used for all content in the shared drive. You might consider grouping files together by software program or by business function. For example, you could have a folder that contains all relevant marketing PowerPoint presentations, or a folder in the drive for marketing, for accounting, for management, and so on. Consider creating a manual or at least a list of expectations and rules associated with the shared information. This could include the file naming process, where to store specific file types, and how to obtain permission to add files or folders. When a new person joins the team, make sure they get training on using the shared drive space. Finally, you should also control access to certain files and/or folders in the shared drive. Not everyone will need access to all documents in the drive. These permissions can be easily managed based on the shared software platform you are using. Collaborative writing and editing. Because Workspace is web-based, all documents are in the cloud, making it easy to collaborate with coworkers. Multiple users can have the same file open at the same time and can make changes together. As one example, this functionality is useful in a small business accounting system that generates many invoices. Sales associates in different locations can update their sales amounts online, all using the same workbook. This type of collaboration was not possible in Office until Microsoft released its online version of Office. Office 365, now called Microsoft 365, was the first version that allowed collaboration and sharing similar to that in Workspace. The Excel 2016 and 2019 desktop versions now permit collaboration and sharing in real time on files that are saved to OneDrive. Sharing a document. In Google, you can choose to send your file to individuals by simply typing in their emails, as shown in Figure 2. 60A, there are various restrictions and modifications you can add to your sharing invite. By clicking the drop-down menu next to the person's name, you can choose to make this person a viewer, commenter, or editor. This is the most basic level of adjusting the sharing settings by person. You can also select the gear icon at the upper right of the sharing window and uncheck the options you don't want, as shown in Figure 2. 60B. The first choice allows for collaborators to edit and share the Google file. Keep it checked if you want them to be able to edit, or unchecked if you don't want the recipients to edit. If you want recipients to just read, uncheck the first option and keep the second option. But if you don't want readers to be able to edit, print, download, or copy the file, you should uncheck both options. A. Share with people and groups displays space to add people and groups and restrict opening links. B. Share with people settings offers changing permissions and options to download, print, and copy. Figure 2. 60A. To share a file, simply type in the recipient's email address to send the invitation. B. Clicking the gear icon will allow you to manage what collaborators can do with the file. Google Docs is a trademark of Google LLC. You can send people a link to the file without adding them as collaborators. There are more sharing restrictions and options available in the Get Link box, as shown in Figure 2. 61A. You can set your link sharing up as a public link or a restricted link. The public link can be configured further, as you can see in Figure 2. 61B. Readers will be able to just view, comment, or edit. Or you could choose restricted, in which only certain people can open the link. Whichever you choose, public link or sharing to groups or individuals, any changes done by collaborators will be recorded, as mentioned earlier in the version history feature from Docs. Adding people as collaborators by sharing the file with them means that they get an email notification, and the file is added to their Shared with Me section of their Drive. This means that those collaborators have a Drive account, whether through Gmail or through Workspace. When you send someone a link only, it's not added to their Shared with Me and may be accessed by someone without a Google account or without logging into their Google account if they have access to the link to the file. A. Restricted is selected in General Access in a Share pane. B. Viewer is selected from Role in Share pane and Allion with the link is selected in General Access. Figure 2. 61A. You can set up a public link for people to access a file, whether they have a Google account or not. B. You can also place some restrictions on access to the file. Google Docs is a trademark of Google LLC. Accessing a saved document with Drive. Your options for sharing and viewing files will depend on how you save files in Drive. Drive is the main location from which you will create and save your docs. However, Drive can also act as simple data storage, where you can keep your Word documents, pictures, PDFs, and many other types of files. Word documents are compatible with Docs to some extent. You can even open a Word document directly from Drive and edit it in your browser. However, you may notice some differences between your original Word file and the way it opens in Docs. For example, some formatting may not seamlessly transfer to the Docs version of your file. Be aware that you may need to make adjustments to clean up any incompatibilities. Some other file types like PDFs may need a separate application to edit. There are two ways to access files on your Drive. One is directly through your browser. Simply log into your Google account and navigate to the Drive app or go to Drive, Google.com and log in from there. This method requires only an internet connection and an internet browser. When you select a GDoc file, it will open directly in your browser and you edit it from there. If you select a different type of file, you may want to edit it in browser or download it to your computer to use with another application. The other way to access files is to sync your Drive with your computer. If you install Drive on your computer as a network drive, you can access your files from your Windows File Explorer or macOS Finder window, as you would your pictures or other documents. You can create folders or rename files all from File Explorer or Finder. The advantage of this method is that you can open non-Google files such as Word documents or PDFs in their native applications. That is, if you open a docx file from FileStream, it will open in Word, instead of opening the Google-compatible version in your browser. However, if you open a docs file from FileStream, it will automatically prompt your computer to open your internet browser and open the file there as. GDoc files do not have a native computer application. The advantage of the in-browser method of accessing files on Drive is that it offers the user different options for sharing and viewing files. In Figure 2. 62, you can see on the right the available options. My Drive, Shared with Me, Recent, Starred, and Trash. My Drive contains your personal files, ones that you either created yourself, uploaded from your computer, or copied to your Drive from people who shared files with you. Shared with Me contains shared files sent to you for collaboration. Recent contains the most recently opened or edited files. Starred is a special category that contains only files that you have deliberately added to it by selecting the Add to Starred command. These may be important files that you want to see later or files that have high-priority issues needing to be solved. Trash, like the Windows Recycle bin, is simply a place where you send files to be deleted. Below these categories, you will see the amount of space you have left in Drive. There are added benefits of using Drive. The most obvious one is that you can access your files from anywhere in the world with any device. A second advantage is the online Drive's interactive sharing ability. You can send your file to anyone, either an individual or a select group. Finding and opening a file is as easy as signing into your Google account, going to Drive, and locating your file. Google Drive storage capacity is visible at the bottom of the Drive screen, 175. 3 MB of 15 GB used. A Buy Storage button is hyperlinked below, Figure 2. 62 Drive is the storage space that customers get on Google servers. As you pay fees, your storage capacity is increased. Google Drive is a trademark of Google LLC. The one potential drawback of Drive is its reliance on internet access. All files are accessed and saved through the internet.